So as promised, I'm going to talk a little bit about maps. I'm also going to be talking a little bit about comfort material, such as reading material. But in the meantime, I want to express the importance of having maps. And I have specific maps because I have certain destinations that I know that I could go to in case of an emergency. And when that happens, a lot of people are going to either be trying to get out of the city to get to their destination, or second or third uh, bug out area, or simply trying to get into the woods. Now, I'm going to share some things with you. You'll notice that I have two maps here, National Geographic, okay? Yellowstone National Park and Yosemite National Park. These are two of the major national parks. Now, there are more in the United States, and I have those too. But for the sake of the length of this video, I'm going to share these with you. It's imperative that you have maps, because when traveling, you're going to need to make sure that you have the ability to know where you're going. The great thing about national parks, and most people are going to try and flock to these areas, and the reason why is simply because they're abundant in water and materials and minerals. They're also abundant in wildlife, and that's going to provide food for a lot of individuals. And so understand something. If you cannot navigate, you're going to probably run into bears or any other sort of beast that may try and protect this territory. So make sure you understand maps, learn to read them, and whatnot. Now, besides that, I also have this large pamphlet here, or booklet. This is the state of Oregon. And it's going to allow me to know where all the recreational sites are, the campgrounds, the fishing, and it's going to give me all of the topographic maps here. Now, if you notice here, when I open this up, you literally can see Crater Lake National Park. So as I've stated before, you have multiple national parks, and having maps so you can get there is going to provide you with everything. Here's another right here. Guilford Pitchock National Forest. So you have national parks, you have national forests, you have BLM land. No, BLM doesn't stand for Black Lives Matters. It stands for Bureau Land Management, okay? And you want to make sure you got the maps. I have Oregon, I have Arizona, I have Idaho, I have Washington, and my Colorado map sits in the vehicle. Now, I have those for my own specific needs and reasons that I don't care to discuss at this moment. But making sure you have the proper maps, learning how to read maps, and most of all, purchase some inexpensive highlighters. I like to carry yellow, purple, blue, pink, and green, because then I can highlight certain areas and highlight my trips and whatnot. There's something else you're going to need. When the grid goes down, this is a little booklet here, but disaster preparedness and survival gear for making your home self-reliant. Now, while you're in your home or you have to get out into the wilderness, this little small pamphlet is going to give you a lot of information. These are your table of contents. And this is going to share with you how to sterilize water. That's very important when you're out in the wilderness, because you could get sick from different viruses and whatnot, and that can put a huge damper on an individual's physical bodies. Now, over here I have a little few little pamphlets. Here's a large one, but here's a magnet that you can simply slap on, the metal part of your vehicle. Now, if you notice here, both of them prevent wildfire and preserve habitat. Now, I always go down to my federal agency locally, and I get a new permit for fire. So when I go out camping in certain areas of California, I could make sure I do it. But you want to make sure you do it safely. And so these little pamphlets come in handy. I suggest if you have children, keep these pamphlets, go down to your federal or your state, and they're free, and you can pick those up, okay? Now, You have a much larger cardboard here. Talks about when you're out there firing your guns, your ammunitions, and carrying fire extinguishers. You can see there's one back here and whatnot. Now, those are people who could carry a gun. There's a lot of people who cannot own or purchase a firearm. They're called prohibited. So it's just part of a free pamphlet you could pick up. But nevertheless, these things are very, very important to have with you. And I wouldn't travel anywhere without them. Last but not least, we're going to talk about having reading material. Now, this is a subscription that I have from a company called Recoil. And this is the off-grid outbreak. What can you do to survive a bioterrorist attack? Okay, that's one book. Sub-Zero, how long to bug out and survive in winter. There's a whole host of material here. Whiteout, the winter survival techniques. Off-grid, don't wait for Mother Nature to strike now. 10 foods that can last forever and so forth. But there's multiple pieces of material there. An EMP attack, prepping for a modern day dark age. Here's the off-grid here. Sudden surge. Will you know what to do when the water comes for you? You see? Now, in saying all of that, I want to say this. The Bible states that all these things are good for the righteous, but to the wicked they're turned to evil. None of these things are going to do you any good if your home is not in order and you're not spiritually connected to the Father himself, the Creator. Now, I don't know who you serve and what you serve, but I do encourage you to get in touch with your spirit so that you can find out who the true Elohim of creation is, the Alpha and Omega. Without that, you can talk smart, be smart, have all the prepping materials you want, have all the food that you can survive through multiple winters. At some point in time, when the Most High separates the tares from the wheat, you won't be able to stop the angel of death at your door. Get your home in order so that you can truly endure and enjoy the kingdom to come. Hallelujah. Elder Yehuda, and until next time.